Hello, everyone. Welcome to the November Lower Providence Township Zoning Hearing Board meeting. I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next is a roll call. Gary Brown.
Here.
Travis DeCaro.
Here.
I'm Chris Curtis. Mark Kaburski.
Here.
Joe Pucci.
Here.
Rusty Raymer.
Here.
And our counsel tonight is Mike Fury.
Here.
Okay, with that, Gary, if you could read our statement.
Yes, sir. The Zoning Hearing Board will give all interested parties an opportunity to ask questions and testify in connection with the applications being heard tonight. After a witness for the applicant completes testimony, you will be given an opportunity to ask questions of that witness. In addition, after an applicant has completed its case, you will also be given an opportunity to testify, which will require you to be sworn in as a witness. If you wish to participate in the hearing on an application, you should complete the entry of appearance form, which will be provided to you by the zoning officer, Mike Brzezinski, here to my left, sitting at the table. We ask your cooperation in maintaining silence during the hearing so that both the board and the court reporter can hear the testimony of the witness. We also ask that all cell phones be turned off.
Thank you, Gary. We have 3 cases tonight, so we're going to start with item number 1. And Joe, if you could read that for us.
Certainly. Item Z-25-15, Giulio Ciriello, 811 North Park Avenue, Norristown, PA 19403. The applicant intends to subdivide the property into 2 lots based on a revised plan. The applicant seeks relief from section 143-37A2 to allow the frontage of lot 1 to be 75 feet where a minimum of 100 feet is required, together with any other relief deemed necessary or appropriate by the board. Parcel ID of the subject property is 43-0010300-00-7. The subject property is located at 811 North Park Avenue and is in the R2 residential zoning district.
Thank you, Joe. And before we get started, Mike just wants to make a statement.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark the board exhibits also.
Okay.
Yes, very well. So B1 would be the certification of posting. B2 is a notice letter to residents. B3 would be the mailing list. B4, certification of notifications to residents. And B5 would be the proof of publication. And I just need to disclose that about 10 to 15 years ago, I had some professional contact with Mr. Cirillo. That will not affect my advice to the board whatsoever. I don't believe I had any contact since then, and I'm assuming no one has any objection. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And I assume you're counsel for Mr. Ciriello.
Yeah, Mark Danik, counsel for Mr. Ciriello, and also WPM Builders.
Okay.
They'll be the witnesses here tonight. And
Okay.
may I approach the...
Sure. And you're okay with Mike's
Yes, no
contact?
objection.
Okay.
Yeah, I did speak to Mr. Fury in advance.
Okay.
I did explain no objection.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I just placed a packet in front of you with various exhibits marked 1 through 9. What I want to start with is just a brief overview of the property and then explain what we want to do. If you can turn to tab 9, this is the county parcel map. And you can see that there are 3 lots that are comprising the property. The front lot has a single-family home on it where I handwritten 072, and then 067, those 2 parcels are currently vacant land. And if you go to tab 3, which is our the overhead of the Google Maps, you can see that the single-family home is kind of in the lower center of the property, and the red marker is to the back. This property is a bit unique in that the front lot where I had marked lot 72. That lot has been in existence since 47, which predates the zoning code ordinance adoption in 1955 in the township. So that the front lot is an existing non-conforming lot. The two rear lots were developed in, or at least originally subdivided in, I believe, 1957 and 1961. 1956 and 1961. So those came in after the first zoning ordinance for the township, so they are somewhat more compliant. But I will note that the rear two lots are landlocked, so they don't have any street frontage. So part of the proposal, well, I guess if you go to tab 5, this is our existing conditions plan by Tracy Borshevitz. And this shows the house in the front, which I'd marked as lot 67, and then the rear two lots is lot 72. Now, what the applicant proposes tonight is to, if you go to tab 6, is redevelop the rear two lots as a single lot for a single-family home. Now, to make the front lot compliant with zoning, we're also proposing to move the lot lines back further so that lot 1, which has the existing house on it, is going to be compliant with lot size and the different setbacks and things as required by the code. So we're trying to eliminate the nonconformity of the front lot by adding square footage in the back. And then the rear lot, where you can see in the proposal with the driveway going to the house in the back, that'll all be developed as one parcel, which is also zoning compliant. So the only relief we're seeking here tonight is due to, say, the flag driveway to get to the rear lot. So that is proposed to be 25 foot wide, which ends up leaving the front lot only being 75 foot wide, where 100 foot is required. So that's what we would argue to be the minimum relief required to make a reasonable use of the rear of the property. And I would also submit to the board that, the failure to grant, let's say, the requested variance, because the rear is landlocked, would actually result in a confiscatory application of the zoning code on the property if it's not granted, in that the rear two lots will have no value at all unless they're able to have the driveway connecting to the main road. And then, and I'll call Will Maschio up. If you go to tab 7, this is the letter of authorization by Jules Cirilio authorizing WPM Premier Homes. Will Maschio is a partner with his father, and he'll describe the types of homes they intend to build.
Okay, before you start, if we could swear him in, Tim?
Sir, you solemnly swear your testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and spell, please, sir.
My first name is William, William. Last name is Mascio, Mascio.
CIO.
CIO, yes.
Thanks, sir. Now. Okay, Mr. Maschio, you heard me give my presentation to the board, correct?
Yes, I did.
And if I would ask you the various questions, would you respond exactly how I responded to the board?
Yes, I would.
And do you
I'm sorry,
adopt-
Mr. Gonick, you just,
Oh, sorry.
you can-
Yep,
there's
sorry.
another mic over there if you want to hold that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
And do you adopt my testimony to the board as if it was your own?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you just please briefly describe for the board the types of homes and what you envision for the properties?
Yes, so the goal would be to construct 2 single-family homes, square footage roughly around 4,000, between 3,700 to 4,000 square feet, attached 3-car garages on them, similar to what would be known as a center hall colonial, two stories of finished space with a basement as well on all of them. The facades would be a mix of vinyl siding as well as some stonework, similar to the properties that have been developed right around that area like on Park Avenue.
Okay, and with that, I have no further questions for this witness.
I do have one question. So you're going to be demolishing the home on Lot 1 currently there?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And then the last thing I wanted to present is at tab 8, Mr. Cirillo did go around to the immediate neighbors, and he did get some of the neighbors to sign a petition in favor of the application. Now, as was mentioned earlier today, we did initially submit a plan to have two single-family homes behind the existing house on separate lots. We did amend the application to only have one home in the back and reconfigure the properties to make them conforming. But when Mr. Cirillo went around with his petition, the plan he presented to the neighbors was the more aggressive development with the 3 homes. So here we're going down to 2. But I just want to note that if the neighbors were in favor of the 3 homes, I think it's fair to say that they would be in favor of a lesser development at 2. And with that, I have no further presentation.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to open it up to the board for questions. So I'll just start with one. The Lot 1, home on Lot 1, the setback, it looks like there's a future right-of-way in front of the property. Are we interpreting that correctly?
On the plan?
Yeah. So the property that's abutting up to Park Avenue,
Yes.
so where does the right-of-way start?
So it looks like the right-of-way, looks like he's running it from the center of Park Avenue. So it would be that, I guess the solid, which I guess would be vertical line.
That's adjacent, like at the top of that where it says 200 feet? I mean, right, is that the line you were referring to?
Well, no, yeah, right next to the line, the vertical line right next to the 200 feet,
Yeah,
I
okay.
believe is the right-of-way.
Okay,
Which, and I believe, and Mr. Maschio can confirm this, that the proposed house would be in the same location as the existing house, so we're not going to get any closer to the road. The only, say, real addition is adding in the driveway for the rear parcel.
okay.
The trouble may be, and Mike, you might know a little bit about this, it looks like they're planning to widen the road because the flag lot next to it, the sidewalk is about 20 feet off of the road where it is now. It's in a very odd distance from the road. So it looks like there's a plan to widen the road at some point, which would eat into the frontage of the property that you're looking at.
Yes.
And so I think the question is, if that's the plan, and we've made the flag lot next to it, put a sidewalk back to the future plan, is there enough frontage where you're trying to put the house for that future plan to still be, that's what I think we're asking.
Well, I think even if it's rolled back, I think the lots are still going to be 75 and 25. So we wouldn't need any additional relief. I think from my read of the plans and my understanding is
Okay.
it's,
Far enough back.
yeah.
Where you're demoing the existing house and building new, what is the existing house square footage versus what you're putting in? Maybe it's on there,
The size of the existing house? I don't see it on the drawing. Full building coverage.
I think if you look at what you're proposing for Lot 1, which is the existing house lot, it's going from 8.8% building coverage down to 6.5% building coverage.
Yes,
So-
because we're expanding.
Because you're
the lot
expanding it. So you'll be
backwards.
more compliant.
Yeah, as part of to make sure that we had, because the existing lot is only 20,000, so we're adding 5,000 square feet to the back of it to make it larger, so that's why the building coverage percentage goes down.
And the same comment applies to impervious. You'll be more compliant with impervious.
Correct, yeah. And it's being done intentionally to make sure that the two lots are more compliant.
Great. We looked at a map earlier, and down, let's say, I guess, southeast, is there a catch basin or something in the corner that's not
For stormwater.
part of your property? It's down the bottom.
Say yes.
That is correct, yes.
And from a stormwater management standpoint, is there any stormwater management plans for the property?
Well, I think as we move through the building process,
Okay.
we would submit the required stormwater plans or whatever the township would require
Okay, great.
to make sure that it's compliant.
Okay, thank you.
And you did mention that it's a shared driveway, you're not putting in another curb cut.
No, it's gonna be a second deeded, the driveway's not gonna be an easement or anything, it's gonna be deeded to the rear property. So that's why, that's what's triggering the zoning relief for the 25-foot and the 75-foot.
Ah, I see it now. This drawing's so detailed, it's hard to see. So there's a driveway on the right side of where the existing structure is that will belong to the property that you're building where the existing structure is.
Yes,
The left side of the property, you're giving to the rear lot,
yes,
and
Lane.
there's your, okay, I get it, yep.
And then we're.
So it's not a shared driveway, you
Yeah,
have
and
one
then-
for the, yeah.
Well, this isn't the greatest, but,
Maybe try the other one.
Probably
It works, sometimes it doesn't.
Can we zoom in on that a little bit, actually?
yeah.
You
so
might
like,
have,
well,
yeah,
this
it does
is
seem
kinda-
kind of,
This, I'll just stand it here. So, this is the new square footage going to lot one, because the lot line ends here. So we're adding this square footage in to make sure that it's compliant for the 25,000.
and the driveway on the right, or the north side there.
Yeah, so this is like the new driveway, and then this is the existing for the house.
Okay.
On the new driveway, there's a little X area. What, is that like, it looks like a turnaround or something. What is that?
Well, I think that's existing concrete on the plan that they're gonna remove.
Okay.
Which area point? This area here, I think is existing concrete.
So that's a shed that's currently on the property that would be moved, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
not the shed,
There's
I
something
think
there.
this-
It looks like there's flare-outs on the,
looks like a turnaround around the house. I think it's a old concrete driveway or something in the back part of the house.
Says remove existing shed and portion of
Because I
existing
think they
driveway.
would come in here and go down here to turn around, but because this is gonna be new, they're gonna break this so that they're not touching.
So yeah, it's all existing driveway and stuff, that's all being modified. I see.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
How are the lots? Are they generally wet or dry or you grade well or?
Yeah, they grade well, they are generally dry.
Mike, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council, the property is described 3 lots in 1 deed. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
And so it's currently 1 parcel number.
Well, yeah, somewhere along the way, the county only issued 1 tax bill for the 3 parcels, but if you look at tab 2, the deed itself,
Yes.
you could see that there was 3 different
Three different
premises.
Three different
And-
legal descriptions, yes.
Yeah, and in somewhere in like 47, 56, and 61, Mr. Osborne had acquired all 3 lots. He only developed and used the front lot. The back 2 have always been vacant. But I do understand like the issue with the 3 lots on 1 deed, and that's what we're trying to address in the current proposal. Just to make it more simple.
And you'll be going through the subdivision land development process then?
Yeah, probably more of a lot line adjustment, but we'll do whatever's needed through the township.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions by the board? Does anyone in the audience have a question of counsel or his witness? Does anyone want to testify? Okay. Mike, are you satisfied you have all of the exhibits covered?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you would just entertain a motion to admit the applicant's exhibits?
Yeah, I would move to have my exhibit packet admitted.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I think with that, what we're going to do is we're going to pause the meeting, and we're going to go back and discuss, and we'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back, and Travis, you have a motion for us.
Regarding the application of Julio Cirilio, number Z 25-15, for the property located at 811 North Trooper Road in the R2 Residential Zoning District, I make a motion to grant a variance from section 143-37A2 of the zoning ordinance to permit a 75-foot lot frontage for one of the lots for the proposed subdivision of the subject property, subject to the following conditions. Number one, strict compliance with the testimony and evidence presented at the hearing and the information set forth in the application as amended. And number two, compliance with all other township ordinances, including the subdivision and land development ordinance to the extent required by the township.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Congratulations, Mr. Danick, and good luck with the property.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, counsel, may I just email the letter to you rather than mailing it to your client? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to our second case, and Mark, you're going to read that for us.
Yes. Application Z-25-25, Evelyn and Robert Whiteside, 557 Deerfield Drive, Norristown, PA 19403. The applicants are proposing to construct a gazebo with reduced rear yard setback. The applicant is requesting relief from section 143-6.2.A3A for a 17-foot side yard setback where 20 foot is required, and section 143-6.2.A2A for a rear yard setback of 21 feet where 60 feet is required. The parcel ID of subject property is 43-00-02959-00-4. Subject property is located at 557 Deerfield Drive and is in the R2 zoning district.
Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Deerfield? Correct. I'm sorry, Whiteside.
Whiteside.
Thank you. And I assume you're not represented by counsel?
No,
Okay,
correct.
so typically when we have owners present that and there's no counsel present, we ask our code officer, Mike Merzinski, to introduce the case for us. So, Mike, if you could do that.
Okay, thank you. Before the board is Evelyn and Robert Whiteside of 557 Deerfield Drive. They're seeking to place a gazebo as an accessory structure in their rear yard with reduced setbacks. If I can, I'll just point to it to show you. This would be Deerfield Avenue. This is Esky Park. The gazebo is proposed for a area over here, which is something of a pond area, and is as the applicant is getting older. No offense. They recognize that it is harder to maintain this area, and so they want to place the structure so that to cut down on the maintenance necessary in this area. Basically, the concerns are the setbacks, 17 feet from this property line, which is required for 20, and then 60 feet from the rear property line. Naturally, if they were to go to those regulatory setbacks, it loses its purpose in mitigating for that spot in the rear yard there.
Thank you, Mike. Before we get started, we'd like to swear you in.
I do.
Sir, state your name and spell, please.
Robert Whiteside, Whiteside.
Evelyn Whiteside, Evelyn,
WHITESIDE.
Okay, thank you. Mike, do you want to do the exhibits?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. B1 would be the certification of posting. B2, notice letters to residents. B3, mailing list. B4, certification of the notifications to residents. B5 would be the proof of publication when received by the township. If I may, since the applicants are not represented by council, let me mark their exhibits, which would be A1, application and deed. A2 is the plat plan, and A3 is the gazebo specifications. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. and Mrs. Whiteside, if you would like to go into any additional detail from what Mike presented to us.
The pond area is currently completely empty. We've never had any ability to put fish or any other kind of things in it because the herons visited us quite regularly when we first moved in. So they've taken care of that.
And we have spoken, you've sent letters out, but we've spoken to our immediate neighbors. They all know about what we plan to do. We're all really close along the Esky Park line.
Okay? So with that, then I'm going to ask the board for any questions you'd like to ask. But before you do that, Mike, the sections of the code that are called out, is it 14337A or 14362? Because I don't think there's an A3. I just want to make sure.
Okay. There's two pieces, just an abundance of caution. Under the definitions, which is 143-6.2, it talks about accessory structures, of which a gazebo is explicitly mentioned. In that definition, it speaks about the fact that accessory structures are to be within the setback of the primary building. So that kicks it to the putting it in the building envelope. And then 14337A2 is what the board is very familiar with in terms of the stipulation for the standards for the R2 zoning district. So
Okay.
an abundance of caution, we cited both sections.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just as a clarification, Mike, then, so although the subsections might be different in the original enactment of the ordinance, I'm looking at the code in the, and it's 143.6.2 B2, then, which refers to the side yard and rear yard setbacks. So there's all other residential accessory structures.
Yes, I'm sorry for,
Yes.
yes, we,
Thank you.
an error.
Very well.
on our
No,
part.
that's fine.
Okay, sorry, Gary, I think you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, what's the determining factor for the location of the gazebo? Obviously, there's something that's dictating you guys having to put it 17 feet versus 20 feet.
The location of the existing pond.
Okay. I mean, is there any reason you couldn't kick it over 3 feet, or something gets exposed, or?
Well, I think just basically to fill it in appropriately, and we took.
You wanted
blue-
to cover it.
Well, and we took blue and white landscape came out and basically determined that that would be the best.
Okay. I mean, is it an elevation kind of type thing? Is it,
No, it's all relatively flat
it's flat?
there.
Okay.
It's basically where the pond is existing, and then there's also a walkway. We didn't want it too close to the walkway.
Okay.
And there's a patio next to the house that we didn't want to get it too close to as well.
Okay.
To that point, there's two drawings in here. One has it side setback 20 and one has it 17. The original looks like 17. That looks like you revised it to be.
Yeah, existing, initially he was looking at 17.
Okay.
There's no reason it can't go back to 20.
Okay, so 20 would be okay.
Yeah.
Right, and then now we're just looking at the depth of it in the property. right?
Correct, yeah.
If you were to put it 60, and I'm just, I don't have an actual measurement here, but if it's If that's 17 and you moved it 2 more down, you'd be on your house, it looks like, right? There's not enough room to put it 60 in the
Correct.
backyard, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, so you are going to keep it 20 feet off the side yard?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So it's just the depth.
It's just the depth,
Oh, it's
yeah.
just the back.
Because
'Cause there's a
the
revision-
question
there's a
he asked
revision
is
here.
why can't you make it 20? And you were explaining this, because there's one of the sheets
I'm
say
sorry,
17 and one says 20, and we're not sure why there's 2 different dimensions on the sheets, so.
It's just, initially he said 17, and then when they found that we had some setback, he said we can easily move it over 20.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
And he just didn't update the one diagram.
So the request for relief from the side yard setback is being withdrawn, and you're just asking for your rear yard setback.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Can you tell us about the pond? Do you plan on keeping it?
No,
No, so it's gonna get filled in?
correct.
Okay. And is it a man-made pond or is it a natural pond?
No, it's man-made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there going to be power or lighting or anything to this gazebo?
There's existing electricity that the pond used that wouldn't be removed. But we don't really plan to power
No power
anything in the
and lighting or
gazebo.
anything to
No,
the gazebo? Okay.
just sunlight.
Is the picture that's shown here, is this the exact gazebo?
Yes,
That-
yes, it
The
is.
exact one you've selected?
Yes, it is.
So it looks like it's 10, about 10 feet high,
Correct.
10.1, okay.
And the structure will be anchored such that it'll be
Yes,
fixed.
definitely.
We get
We get tremendous wind. We
Right.
lost a couple trees back there. That's partly why the pond got there, from a tree.
There's an existing fence against Esky in the
Correct.
backyard. How tall is the fence?
It's a standard 4-foot
4 foot,
chain link,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Mike, do you have any questions?
I don't, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions? Anyone in the audience that would like to testify? Okay. Well, with that, I think we're also going to pause and go and discuss your project, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, we are back, and Joe, I believe you have a motion for us.
I do. Regarding the application of Evelyn and Robert Whiteside, number Z-25, -25 for the property located at 557 Deerfield Drive in the R2 Residential Zoning District, I make a motion to grant a variance from section 143-6.2B2 of the zoning ordinance to permit the construction of a gazebo on the subject property with a 21-foot rear yard setback rather than the 60-foot setback required, subject to the following conditions: strict compliance with the testimony and evidence presented at the hearing and the information set forth in the application as amended, compliance with all other township ordinances, and 3, the side yard setback request was withdrawn.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Congratulations. Good luck with your project. Okay, we have one more hearing this evening, and Rusty, you're going to present that for us.
Z-25-26, Brooke Engelbart, 130 Summit Avenue, Eagleville, PA, 19403. The applicant is proposing to enclose existing front porch. The applicant is requesting relief from section 143-27.A1A for an 18.5-foot front yard setback where 50-foot is required. The parcel ID of the subject property is 43-00-14020-00-4. Subject property is located at 130 Summit Avenue and is in the R2 zoning district.
Thank you. And Brooke, I assume that's you?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, and you also are not represented by counsel?
Correct.
Okay, Mike, if you could introduce the project for us?
Sure, thank you. This application being brought forth by Brooke Engelbert on Summit Avenue is basically to enclose this existing open porch on the front of the house to create an occupied office space for home use, for their use. Basically, as the board is familiar, the standards for an enclosed structure are more rigid than those for an open porch or deck or patio. So it's really the difference between 143.37 and 143.27. So this is an existing house that has been there for several decades. It's an existing non-conforming location, and basically all they are seeking to do is to a reasonable use to enclose that porch so that they have more living space. The structure is not coming any closer to the street, but again, because of the change in standards from going from open to enclosed, they need the relief that is being requested.
Okay, thank you. Tim, can you swear in Ms. Engelbart?
I do. Sure. Brooke Engelbart, B-R-O-O-K-E, Engelbart, E-N-G-E-L-B-A-R-T.
Okay, thank you. Mike, if you would do the exhibits for us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. That would be B1, certification of posting. B2 is a notice letter to residents. B3 is a mailing list. B4 is certification of the notifications to residents. And B5, the proof of publication, one received by the township. The applicants submitted an application deed and a plan set.
Thank you. So if you could tell us any additional details that you'd like to fill in from Mike's description.
Mike's description was great. I can just add a little bit of color to where we're coming from. We're expecting our second baby in February, and so we just need a little bit more livable space. Turning our spare room, which was my husband's office, into a nursery, and so kind of giving him the boot, and hopefully he'll be able to use a home office space from the front porch. So that's kind of our ultimate goal there, just for home use.
Good, thank you. What questions does the board have?
I guess what's actually going to be utilized for the infill of the porch? Are you using window wall? Are you
Yeah, so
siding?
Yeah, it'll mostly be windows. The left side will be windows, the whole front will be windows, and then the side on the right will have a new front door. Like, that's essentially where our new entryway will be.
Okay.
Do you plan on building in a new porch off of this existing porch?
No, we do not.
So you're keeping the existing roof and
Yeah,
the actual patio part?
yeah, the contractor we had in said the foundation looked fine, so really just adding walls.
So what is the patio now? Is it wood or is it a concrete patio?
The flooring is like a wood flooring, and then it's, you can kind of see it on the photo, but it's like concrete around the base and obviously the brick pillars.
And you're going to condition the space, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we'll connect to our existing HVAC.
Just from a strict compliance standpoint, I want to make sure we have the variance request accurate. The description that Rusty read says 18.5 front yard setback. The narrative in the exhibit, whichever exhibit that was it A1 maybe? Says we're requesting a variance to enclose the front porch, which is approximately 29 feet from the front property line. So I just want to make sure the board considers the accurate request for you, and we don't approve something that you later have to come back and ask for something different.
Yeah, we have submitted the measurements that are in the narrative, so the existing front porch is 29 feet from the property line. Our dwelling, so like where the house would start, is 39 feet from the property line. So I'm not sure, I guess, in the write-up what the
Go ahead,
math
Mike.
is.
Yeah, thank you. As I reviewed the application and recognized that, I believe that this, again, being an older property, the property line was probably taken forth from within the right-of-way, the center line, basically, or some derivation thereof. I wanted to make sure, again, to the board's credit, that we were asking for the stricter consideration, so that, again, there would be no questions down the road if we needed to change it. I mean, obviously, asking for a setback, the smaller setback is more stringent, so we want to make sure that that's how it went out.
Okay, so 18.5 feet it is, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What other questions?
I'm sorry, there, it's here, but I can't see it on the printout just because it's all
Okay.
blacked out. What are the dimensions of the current porch?
Oof. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Are they on this print that's,
Oh, they might be,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think I see 212 inches width-wise. Looks like from brick pier to brick pier.
117 depth.
Doesn't say yet. I pulled
Okay,
it up on my
yes,
phone
I
maybe,
agree.
but It's not big.
How do I ask this question without leading you here?
Okay.
Why not add out on the back instead of the front?
Well, we have like a cement patio out back, and we prefer to just use that as outdoor living space, so. This was pretty much an easier, we kind of talked with our contractor about like what would be some other options for us to, kind of expand space on our house, and this was kind of the path of least resistance, just because it kind of is pretty much ready to go and would just need walls.
Cost coming out the back would be substantially higher, I assume, than just adding, right?
Yeah, because we're talking about adding like external walls then and
Yeah.
stuff, and another roof line probably, and things like that.
So hardship would be cost here, right? You're saying it's cheaper to finish the front of the
Yes,
house than
for
the.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you plan on matching the architectural details that you currently have on the front of your house with the new extension out front?
Yeah, so we really love our craftsman style home, and so our hope is that, that was in discussion with our contractor, that we would maintain the integrity of that look and feel. So kind of sent in some ideas of what I'm looking for, things like that. So yes, it wouldn't be stucco though. We're not going to do more stucco.
Okay. Now, you have like a colonial molding around the windows and
Yeah.
just bringing that forward.
Yep. Yeah, mimicking trim, mimicking window styles, things like that.
Okay.
good? Any other questions? Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions? Anyone in the audience like to testify? Mike, do you?
Allowed to as the husband?
Absolutely.
Just
But you had to come up to the microphone.
Gotta do
And is it a question or are you testifying?
comment?
How about we swear you in, just in
Alright, that's
case?
fine. Yes. Kyle Engelbart, Kylengelbart. Just, we had a contractor evaluate where is the quickest place to put an office, because we were not really expecting a second baby this quickly. So that played into our decision-making, whether to put it in the attic, somewhere else, do a big addition. This is the quickest, cheapest way, timeliest way to get this done before a newborn comes.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, and then lastly, things also changed with my job. I worked in a hospital. Now I do home-based care. So I go into people's homes. So I do need an office. I never expected that. And that's the other hardship that we're facing.
Okay. Thank you. Did I ask you, do you have any questions?
You did, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
All right, very good. Then we have no further questions. We're going to pause for a moment and go back and talk about your project. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back, and Mark, I believe you have a motion for us.
Yes, regarding the application of Brooke Engelbart, number Z-25-26 for the property located at 130 Summit Avenue in the R2 Residential Zoning District. I make a motion to grant a variance from section 143-27.A1A of the zoning ordinance to permit the enclosure of the front porch attached to the house on the subject property with an 18.5-foot front yard setback rather than a 50-foot setback required. Subject to the following conditions: strict compliance with the testimony and evidence presented at the hearing, and the information set forth in the application as amended. Number 2, compliance with all other township ordinances.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Congratulations and good luck with your project. So our next meeting is December 17th. It's a Wednesday. Obviously, we have a Christmas holiday, so that is a off-normal night for us, but we will be here at 7 o'clock on December 17th. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in December.